What a week in the market. The mortgage market, the stock market, the grocery market, every market you can think of. It's been crazy. Whether you're a referral partner, not a referral partner, insurance agent, buyer, seller, I don't care who you are, you got to know what exactly is happening in the market. This week we had an extremely volatile market. Obviously, coronavirus did not help anything, right? Stores are shutting down. All these things are happening on top of a global oil trade war. How do you even wrap your head around this kind of stuff? Well, and also, what effect does that have on the interest rate environment, which will affect mortgage rates? We saw the government step in with more quantitative easing, meaning they are buying these mortgage-backed securities that can't be sold right now. They're buying them at different level coupon rates to help alleviate the glut of refinance and purchase volume that's coming into the market, which ultimately, on top of all this other stuff, is causing a lot of uncertainty, which is having a increased effect on the mortgage rate. I have a lot of buyers that are always trying to time the market, time when they get it. Oh, rates are here and I want them to be a quarter point lower and I'm not going to buy until they are. Well, what I like to say is buy in your environment, because if you're just trying to time the market, you're going to lose out on a buying opportunity. Now, granted, there's budget, there's job security, there's all that other good stuff that you do need to think about. But at the end of the day, buy in your environment. Don't try to time the market. I made that mistake when I was trying to buy a home back when I first started buying a home in my first house in 2005. It's many, many moons ago. And ultimately, I said, you know what? I want the house. I want to buy a house. At the time, I was 25 years old. I want to buy a house, 25 years old. I don't care what the rate was. And my rate back in the day was 5.75%. So don't get too caught up in that if you're a buyer. If you're a listing agent, I would be very, very keen to watching that third-party financing addendum. The reason why, because third-party financing addendums have that interest rate that says if the rate goes above a certain amount, it could give the buyer an out. Well, what I would recommend is either pushing back on the buyer's agent or even calling that lender and saying, hey, have you stress test this file with a higher interest rate, because that could leave your seller open to some risk. Now, on the flip side, those buyer agents are like kind of probably cursing me right now, but on the flip side, as a buyer's agent, you need to be just as keen as well, because if your lender, whether it be me or anybody else, did not stress test that file for a half a point increase in rate, maybe a full point increase in rate, that could put your file at jeopardy, debt to income wise. It could kill the deal. Or if you're not talking to your buyer, if your lender's not talking to your buyer, it could deter your buyer at all from trying to buy in this new normal, if you will. So I think if we get ahead of the issue, you will not see your listings take forever to be sold, because now you're trying to sell in a rising interest rate environment. Maybe you coach your seller to get more familiar with maybe giving out some seller contributions to help buy down that interest rate for the buyer so that they can buy the house or have more incentive to buy that house. Hey, that's just a thought. I'm kind of thinking out of the box right now. What time is it? 5:45 p.m. on a Saturday. I've been working for 6 hours at the office. My mind's been going crazy. These are just some of the things that we can do to educate not only each other on the listing agent side or the buyer's agent side, but also to educate the buyer, because the buyer ultimately is going to drive all this. Be aware that rates are slightly shifting upwards, and they may continue to for the next 6 to 12 months. So if you have a buyer trying to buy into the market or time the market, they either may be getting in a volatile market, getting in the middle, or they may be getting in at the bottom of an increasing market. We don't know. That's why I try to tell my people, do not try to time the market. Buy in your environment, buy to your budget, buy to your own level of risk. But these are some of the things that you need to be aware of. That's all I have for today. Thanks for watching. Be aware, stay safe, and you know where to find me: Facebook, Instagram. I do a lot of my business stuff on LinkedIn. Ask a question. Let's jump on the phone. Let's kind of go over to see what how this all affects you. So thanks again, and we'll see you soon.